Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I am a voice teacher. Today I will be reacting to and analyzing a compilation of K-pop idols trying to sing high notes. If you like this video and you want there to be a part 2, you better comment that you want a part 2 or else, you know, there probably won't be a part 2. But if you want the part 2, you know what to do. She had a lot of texture to her voice. The high note, I think, was up to the G. I was a little bit not sure if she was going to make it, but she made it. But there's this kind of roughness to her voice that's really interesting. I think that a lot of people like voices that just don't sound super pristine, especially right now. That seems to be a real common thread in pop music these days. And she sounded awesome. I mean, everyone fell over. That's all you can really ask for as an audience or as a singer, is for everyone in your audience to just like fall over. And I think that we really need to work on, you know, having more realistic expectations. Singing well, you know, that's just magic. That's just luck. Let's be real. You can't really practice being a good singer, but you can practice having the energy come out of your face be so strong that it knocks people over. And I really appreciate that. Yeah, so like they went for some notes in there, and I think some of them worked. They're obviously not trying to sound good. Some of it sounded fine, but you know, it's people goofing off and not really being prepared. And I think honestly, ultimately, everything comes down to how well prepared you are. You can be the best singer in the world, you know? You could be the best singer in the world. You know who I'm talking to, it's you. But if you're not possessing the knowledge of what the song is that you're singing, you're probably not going to do it great justice. There is some crossover. The better technically people become, the less preparation a lot of times they will need, or maybe they're just like such good musicians that they don't need to hear it more than once or twice, or need to practice it more than once or twice before they're able to get a really nice performance. That wasn't the goal right there, you know? There's not much we can say about technique when people just don't know it or take it as seriously, but they are having a blast, and I hope you are also having a blast. I like how everyone just really hears how that original singer had, you know, passion and energy, and that's the stuff that they're really recreating. And the different strategies to recreate that, you know, we might be able to argue, are they worthwhile or not? But again, they're not trying to sound good. They're trying to sound intense and kind of goofy at the top of their ranges. So those guys, they were singing it all in falsetto, so there was very little vocal fold closure. It's a total ligamentous voice. Mode 2, you might say. I might say as well. But yeah, they're not trying to sound good. They're trying, the title of this compilation is that they're trying to sing high notes, which, you know, we might be able to say is true in that that's what they're doing, but it's not trying to sing high notes well, and I feel like that is a very strong difference, you know? They're trying, but not trying, you know? They might be trying. Okay, they're actually good. I'm not saying that the others are not good, but those performances were not. That was legitimately good. The approach was great. It might have even been up to the A flat, you know? Oh my goodness. And singing in that full voice sound up that high is really possible for a lot of high voices, but challenging because it's hard to get that belty sound up in that area. It's over pretty much every bridge that anyone really talks about. It's their mouths were really, really big, which is kind of a necessary condition for singing well up really high. There was this kind of twang to their voice, this littleness to their voice that I thought assisted it. I associate that sound also with just having the vocal folds really stretched out, which is a necessity for getting pitch up there, right? So how pitch happens is the vocal folds, they come together, and how many times they come together and do this little fish-like flop in a second determines the hertz of the pitch. Not like those first guys who were hurting my ears, you know, hertz, a little bit different. Not the rental car, you know, the hertz, the frequency is how many times it comes together. And as we go higher and higher, that frequency increases. And that's how we get the pitch that we recognize as a pitch. So to let the vocal folds come together more and more frequently per second, they need to stretch out, which displaces the mass of the vocal folds. So vocal folds are these little muscles that exist in the larynx in here, and they have depth. They have depth. And if they are totally relaxed and they're not being stretched out, they have a lot of depth. And as they start getting stretched out, that depth gets displaced, right? It stretches out, and so less of the vocal folds come together. Eventually, there comes a point where it goes into ligamentous or mode 2, where it's just the edges that are kind of coming together. And I think they come together in a slightly different way than just this. It's more of like a this than a this. So what they were doing was they were staying in this. It never got all the way to this. And also the vowels that they were using were assisting in it being a full sound. So it didn't, if they had used a much smaller mouth and potentially rounded it significantly to more of an ooh, that would be a very different tone quality, which some people like to call whoop timbre. More of a woo 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 than a yelly ah. They were using, I wouldn't say they were going into yell, I would say that was a mix. She's gonna do well. Yeah, good approach. Yeah, she's great. She's just freaking great. Like, that is a really good singer. I like that she didn't really modify her vowel as she went to that top note. It just kind of went there. She didn't go sa, sa. She went a sa, which just worked better. Way to go, singer. Again, not trying to sound good. Trying to be a comedian. Hate comedy. Okay, when he got to the high note, it actually worked better than anything else. Like mine, when I sang it, it had a little bit more of that fullness. Again, he's approaching it from a very small, falsetto-y kind of place, which it just doesn't work how he was approaching it in this area. But that is a thing that could be trained if you wanted to train it. Good. Yeah, they're gonna make it. Yeah, he made it. Wow, I am a psychic. It's because of my brain and how I, hear it, and then I psychically know that he's gonna make it. You can just hear based on the approach if they're gonna make it or not. And I think that there's an element of being funny in this one as well, but he's so good and so well trained that he's not like trying to get out of that. I think that there's an element of like, I'm taking this kind of seriously and I'm just gonna look like I'm having a funny time. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he'll make it. Yeah, he made a kind of shift at the very end that let it work, but the approach in through there, that approach to me is really difficult. Doesn't feel very good. It's kind of going back and forth between more of the yell and also flipping into that different place rather than having a smoother register shift where there is not a significant tonal shift. There is a tonal shift even when people are mixing. It's just that, again, you know it when you hear it. Does it sound similar enough to the rest of the voice or not? And the way he was approaching does not sound like that, which, again, with all of this, it's like, it doesn't matter because they're just goofing off. Yeah, he's kind of yelling it. And some of it works. I mean, hearing that vibrato on it makes me think that he's not super, super pressed in that area. But again, there's the cracking that kind of happens. It just doesn't sound like he's approaching it in as healthy of a way as I think that he could, which makes me think that as he goes on, it's not going to work to the top. Even if it does work to the top, it just doesn't sound as good, right? But these are things that I do think are trainable. You can change the approach and change the result. Yeah, and again, he made it to the top. But he had a lot more vibrato than I had on that. Again, good kind of qualities. Makes me think that it wouldn't be hard, or it would probably be hard. Singing in this middle part is really, really challenging. Especially for these lower voices, singing a treble song in trying to make it sound the same. It's just like hard, which is why I don't recommend it all the time. There are a few of these guys that are able to do it well, but like it's just setting them up for failure. He's good. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've said before that I like him because he's... Yeah, and that's kind of what it looks like when someone who is approaching it has a really good approach as a default, makes it look a little bit harder than they need. But again, that's just rep choice. Like, he's not going to be singing that in a concert and trying to do it in a way that, like, sounds good, you know? I love EXO. I'm pretty sure that was EXO. I think they're really, really good singers. Trained very, very well. It sounds cool. It's a different key. It's down just a little bit. He sounds cool. I wouldn't mind hearing that sound once or twice in a song, but if we're spending all of our time up there, it's not going to work very well because it doesn't fit his voice like a glove.
Oh!
Yeah, she's going to kill it. Just too good. Too good, but you can hear it from the very first note she sings that the approach is going to keep working. Just like how with these guys, let's see, I'm just going to listen to one note and then make a guess if it's going to work or not, because usually you can hear if you train yourself how to hear it. I mean, it's not going to sound good. I think he's going to make the pitch. I don't think it's going to have a pleasant quality leading up to it or on the pitch. Oh, different singer. Yeah, great approach. Very, very skilled singer. Very good singer. Really, really good. Just not the right song for them. And so that's the thing. A lot of times people are like, oh, I can't sing the song. I'm a really bad singer. I'm people. But it's not true. Like, you can be a really, really skilled singer and just be singing rep that's not right for you. And that's one of the reasons that there is some validity in vocal typing. However, I feel most utility from vocal typing, so saying whether someone is a soprano or a mezzo or a tenor or a bass or a baritone or any sort of subcategory of that, is mostly useful for opera because those words actually hold some meaning. It's like, if you are this type of soprano, then you know kind of the roles that work for your voice type, and you can just kind of work on those roles and not have to fuss with all of the other stuff. I feel like in pop music, there are fewer useful categories because there's a lot more variety of what kind of acceptable sounds there are within each range. Whereas in opera, the range might be the same, but you would be a different Fach because you sound different. And with pop music, there's less of that. There are benefits and cons, pros and cons. I think that one of the pros of using Fach system in pop music is, again, you're not going to be constantly trying to sing songs that just might not be right for you, that might not be awesome, and feeling bad if you're unable to do it. Some cons from using the Fach system with that is I think that it limits what people are willing to try to do. And that's why I don't like to type people. I don't like typing my students. Sometimes I'll be like, I think you might be some sort of tenor, you might be some sort of soprano or whatever, based on just how I hear them warm up. But I don't like putting that specific thing on it because I know how, like, mentally challenging it is to be classified as one thing and have that not really be true. Like, I was kind of classified by one person as a Helden tenor, as a like 18-year-old, and it's just not possible to be a Helden tenor as an 18-year-old. And I was classified by other people as a baritone, and it just gets me so in my head, and it's a thing that I'm constantly trying to get over, of like, who am I? When ultimately, like, it doesn't care because I'm not trying to have a professional opera career. Anyway, that last singer was fantastic. Not the right song choice. Less serious. Yeah, not good. She's gonna be great. She just needed to open up a little bit. You could see her mouth just closed on that top note. If one says instead of it would have been successful. But again, she probably has never really practiced this. We're watching people sing karaoke and goof off and have fun. Her technique is really great, though. Like, that would not be a difficult thing to tune so that it would be successful in a live show that you want to sound good. Great. Yeah, see, when she went to the top one, the jaw didn't really close. Great singers! Like, so many of these singers are fantastic, have really, really, really good technique. They're not messing around, these K-pop idols who are trying to sing high notes, except for the ones who are messing around as K-pop idols trying to sing high notes. She's great. I really liked her voice. One more. Let's do one more. Awesome. Not really taking it seriously. Yeah, again, not really taking it seriously. Maybe some sort of imbibement affected. I want to end on a high note. Good. I think gonna make it. Yeah, good. Yeah. Maybe a little extra pressure and everything, but good singer with good vowels. Not a really noticeable difference between the bottom of the voice and the top of the voice. It's just because of the tessitura of that song, it doesn't fit him. Doesn't fit him, but he can make it. You know, he made it through and it sounds great. But if you brought that tessitura down a little bit and put the high note on the C, ooh, buddy, he is going to sound good because he's a very good singer. Thank you for watching. Please leave comments below if you want me to keep doing this, you know? If you want me to have 5 more minutes of talking about K-pop idols trying to sing high notes well and unwell as comedians and as artistes. And yeah, you know, comments. I need those comments, guys. If I don't get the comments, the video's not gonna come. So leave the comments. Thanks, bye.